Guys, all the cars that you see in these videos are for sale on my website, www.woodsandbarclay.com. Enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is a video for the 1985 Diamond Blue Metallic Wagon. As you can see, the wagon is in the background. And the Diamond Blue Metallic, that was a base coat clear coat. And if you know anything about these classic Mercedes, anytime you have a metallic with a clear coat, the clear coat will start failing on these cars. And let me see if I can get it to show up on camera here. You know, the thing is, you really can't. There we go. There you can see it right there. Okay, there you go. You see it looks like little scratches everywhere. There you go. You can see it really good right there. Looks like somebody took some sandpaper and just rubbed it on here. That is clear coat failure. And, you know, you can't see that in photos, but that is on, I would say, 90% of the metallic base coat and clear coat cars from the early 80s. So we have this wagon completely disassembled and taped off all the door handles and stuff. And of course, we're going to cover the original wheels. Got everything removed up here, and got the sunroof out, and took off the, you can see here's the glue residue left over from the roof strips. That's going to be all sanded off. But yeah, we have all the trim pieces. Now, what we do with these pieces here, guys, if you take these out of the car, or this long piece right here off the car, the chances of you getting that back on the car are slim to none. You might get it back on there, but it'll never look right again. So what we do, we just tape off and take a razor blade and cut it where it goes right down into that slit. And we don't remove those because, like I said, just don't do it. If you remove this stuff, you know, you can't buy that anymore, and you most likely won't ever get it back on there 100% correct. Ready for paint. I'm taking it over to Chris. We're about to load it on the trailer, and I'll show you actually all the parts in here. Me and Kevin spent a couple of days disassembling. Well, I take that back. Kevin disassembled. And you can see here's all the parts from the wagon we have on this piece of cardboard. There's a rear bumper. There's those strips for the roof. Look how beautiful condition those are too. But you use that guitar string and you slice. There we go. There's the glue on the back. And we'll use some acetone to get that glue off, and then we'll re-glue these. And of course, the roof bars. There's the original grill. We're reupholstering the bottom of the seat, so there's the seat back. And I mean, this is what it takes, guys, if you want to have a show car winning wagon that you can take to a car show and win first place. This is how you do it. You got to disassemble it. It's a lot of work, but here's actually all the pieces from the dash, and that'll be in a later video, refinishing the dash and putting the dash back in. But that's all these pieces have already come out. So we're making some good progress. It's going to go over to Chris. He's going to sand it all down and then respray it. We're going to color match using the paint code and the fuel door. You can remove the fuel door, and then we'll take it over to the paint shop and they laser scan it. And you can get, using the paint code and the scanning of the fuel door, you can get an exact match. So he's going to sand it down, paint it. There may be some footage of Chris actually working on the car, painting it. I don't know. He really doesn't like to be recorded. So you might just see the car when it's back from paint and we start the reassembly process. So anyway, we're going to flash forward now. It's probably a month or so, a month later, that you're going to see in a second. All right, guys, here we are over at Chris's, and Chris loves being on camera. Chris, what's your plan with this one? Can you walk us around the car here?
Thanks.
Guys, Chris is a master painter. He's been doing this for, what is it, 40 years? Yeah. Ever since you were a teenager. Yeah. And we've already gone ahead, and look at Chris hiding his face. He doesn't want to be on camera. So we've already removed the hood. And Chris, what are your thoughts on this?
Tape it up and get busy. Strip it down where we got to strip it and make it look pretty.
And taping and prep, that's the majority of what you do when you're painting. Yes. It's prep work, guys. The
Don't
painting.
cut corners. Do not cut corners.
But yeah,
The roof's completely cracked. It has to be stripped down to bare metal.
Yeah, we're stripping down. You're talking about all up here, Chris?
Everything up here, everything in the top. But you can see all the hairline cracks, especially if you look back into the lights this way.
Yeah.
You can see all the cracks. Anytime
There we
anybody
go.
tells you that you can't, or you can prep over this stuff, you cannot. It's just like asphalt. It widens. The more stuff you put over it, the more it's going to get bigger. You have to strip it.
And you're stripping that down to metal.
Strip it to bare metal, then you put a DTM primer, a direct to metal primer. We like to use the PPG DP90s.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so he's gonna sand this down, and guys, I've already, tried to save Chris a little time by like taping off all the little holes. So
That's a lot of time.
It's so paint doesn't go through. Now these holes right here, I could not get my hand up to. So what we did, let's see if I can just show you over here. There we go. I just reapplied the plastic membrane that's actually behind the door panels. So even if paint did get through one of those holes, it's not getting into the car no matter what. And over here, what did you say you were going to tape off the underside?
Yeah, we back tape everything, cover it all up, that way there's no overspray. If anybody wants to see anything, that'll be the original paint. Nobody can argue all that.
Yeah, and because we have to paint here, let's flip this up so they can see the top side of it. Okay, there's the sunroof, and again, I don't know if this is original or if it's been painted, but again, with the metallic paints from the early 80s, it was a base coat, clear coat. So you can, it's been painted at some point. Yeah, most of the metallics have. So this is the second go around. Yeah, you can see all the little
hairline cracks.
Yeah, they look like little hairline. That's just that's the clear coat failure, guys. That's what we want to fix.
That's why you have to strip them down to bare metal. It's best is to go all the way down, because a lot of times it's actually in the base coat as well. So just strip it to bare metal, save yourself a bunch of hours of blocking and stuff. That's the way when you put the DP90 and go back with a good DTM, you've got plenty of material to block down and go through. So
there we go,
guys. Body work, you put it over the DTM and put some more DTM over the top of it, you're good to go.
And then of course we have all the bumpers and lights removed. And I talked about this earlier, guys. You have to pick your battles when you're painting one of these. And you can see we left like this trim on here, because I promise you, if you take this off, you are never getting it back on there right. It'll never be right again. So we always choose to leave this on, and Chris can actually tape around the back side of it, and you see there's a gap up here. See the gap right there? So you can spray paint all the way down in there just by taping that off. So it's actually not even necessary to take that off. Anyway, lots of little tricks of the trade. Oh, Chris, tell them what you were going to do with the gasket. How you deal with the because this gasket, you can't buy a new one and it's not being recreated. What do you do there?
There's a 3M material it's got a flat slide. You can lift this rubber up a little bit, slide this piece underneath there, and then stick it back down on it. That way it stays and it's lifted up, and you can get just enough underneath that edge and not get anything on the rubber that'll protect it. And
then the rubber lays back down over the fresh paint, and there's no tape line.
Exactly.
So it is possible to properly paint a car without removing that gasket.
It's just slow and tedious. Just take your time.
All about the prep work.
Yes. You'll spend plenty of hours. Just make sure you spend enough time to do it right the first time, because it sucks the second and third times.
Oh man, that would suck, having to do it twice.
You can always have problems or flaws, and you can stop in the middle of the base coat and sand them down and fix them. This one's actually probably going to end up with a House of Colors clear on it. That way it really looks good and it really pops for this color. And
you talked about you wanted to use a really nice clear.
Yeah, that'll be the House of Colors, the UFC 35.
UFC 35. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, it's really good
and
stuff.
How many, like, guys always ask how many coats of base coat and how many coats of clear. Like, how do you do it?
I put usually 2 coats of base and see what it looks like, and then depending on how it looks, I might put a 3rd or a 4th. And then on the clear coats, once it's ready for that, the paint guys tell you can't do this. I'm bad about putting up to 6 coats, sometimes 8 coats on the show cars.
And yeah, we want that
You're
show.
supposed to do 3 coats, let it dry, sand it down, do it again, fool you on all that crap. Just sand the fool out next time. But if you use the wrong reducers, you'll get what they call a like a snow look to it, because the reducers aren't coming out fast enough, and it seals down in the clear, and you'll get a lot of bubbles in it, and it just screws stuff up.
So sometimes up to 6 coats of clear.
I have put 8
for
on.
Even 8, and that's for like that show car, that really deep finish. When you look into the paint, it keeps on going.
It looks like it's this deep instead of just right on the edge. It's like looking at antique. When you stick your finger up here and you look in the mirror, is your fingernail touching the edge, which is a cheap mirror, or is it standing back and it looks like it's, you know, way deep?
Yeah,
that's the difference.
That's what the clear coat, a lot of clear coat will get you.
Yes,
Awesome.
especially on like on candy colors, because you actually have like the base down, and then you go back and put a tinted base down, which gives it more effect. But you put that extra clear on it, you can sand a fool out and it'll be so slicker than a baby's butt. It's ridiculous.
I'm excited to see this when you're done.
It's worth the extra money on the good clear, so it's...
So guys, I'm leaving the car here with Chris, and I'm not going to bother him. He will just call me when it's ready. Never blow up your painter's phone, because they'll get ticked off at you. Just let them do it and don't bother them. Anyway, we'll see you when the car is done, and that'll be just in a few seconds. All right, guys, it's we're a couple days later. Chris has really started on the prep work, and this is what takes the most time when you're painting. So you can see, already taped off the sunroof, because we of course have the sunroof out. But that's the part that's important. You've got to very meticulously tape exactly over the chrome pieces. Those are the pieces you don't want to remove. And this is very, very time consuming, but it's the most important stage of painting. You can see back here, everything's taped off around the rear correctly. So anyway, slowly but surely, we will come back with updates later. Also, Chris has these cool little wheel covers, so there's no overspray or anything that gets over the original bunt wheels. Prep work is very tedious, guys. Hey guys, today I got a call from Chris, and he is done painting the wagon. So here is the reveal. And it's kind of sunny, so let me go in here. Guys, check. No, this is great. Guys, check that out. Now keep in mind, it hasn't been washed or anything, so it's, you know, it's going to get detailed by Scott, but this is fresh out. It's not even out of the paint shop yet. Yeah, look at that. Chris, you did a fantastic job on this.
I just got lucky, that's all.
Yeah, I found the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Well, you put in the effort, I mean, and you just keep trying. But when you mess with chemicals, I mean, you're chemicals mercy, really.
Chris, I think this is the best one yet, man. There's the
You're very gracious, John. Very gracious.
Check out the hood here, guys. Look how good that looks. And Scott, of course, will, you know, buff and polish, and it'll look even better when Scott gets hold of it. Here's the, sorry for the sun glare. There's the sunroof, all freshly redone. Now, Chris, you said you already wet sanded some of this?
Yes, we wet sanded with 800, 1000, 1500, and 2000 grit. And then we
800, 1000, 1500, 2000, and then buff.
Yeah.
It looks
so I actually
fantastic.
let it sit 3 days before I even touched it with sandpaper. So.
Oh, to let the clear coat harden?
Yes.
And how many coats of clear is on here?
I put 4 on this one.
So what, like 2 base coat?
This is a 2-to-1. So it's a lot thicker than like a normal 4-to-1 would be for
so
the spot work.
4 coats of clear. How many coats of base?
Probably 5.
5 coats of base. Wow. So this has got some thick, good paint on it.
Well, the most important part is the clear coat. You got to have enough clear to be UV protectant and all that good stuff. So.
Oh, let's see the hubcaps. Where are the hubcaps? Because guys, we're going to install the hubcaps on this car, and we color matched. Oh wow, check that out. Let me back up here. So you can see we got them taped off, and we actually used the stencil. And
Fixing to grab it.
Chris, let's show them what the stencil looks like.
Give me one moment. I'll grab all that for you.
And those are original Mercedes, guys. Yeah, that came out beautiful. And you can see it's exactly the same color as the car because it's the same paint and the same painter. Oh yeah, there's the stencil. Show them how that guy works.
I mean, it just screws together, so you got a stud so you can hold it, but you just drop it on over the top of it.
And then you can get a perfect spray on there.
Yeah, it does a nice job.
Yeah.
Without that, you'd really be having fun taking.
Yeah, those came out good. I'll peel off the tape. Well, I'm gonna peel off the tape on one of these and show you guys. All right, we're gonna peel off the tape here on this one. God, that looks brand new, man.
It is new. John Specialties.
Check that out, you guys. Wow. That is beautiful.
And yes, I keep a messy shop.
So we'll peel the rest of these off and I'll show you all of them. All right, guys, there we go. That's as good as it gets right there.
I'm sure there's always better. But, you know.
I mean, I can't imagine being any better than this, Chris. That looks brand new, fresh paint. The chrome has been polished. Yeah. All right, guys, so that is it for the painting video. Hope you enjoyed it. And next videos, you will see me and Kevin probably reassembling the car. And I have to put the dash back in, do the front suspension, you know, all the things. So hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned, and we will see you next time. Take care.